Hello, I'm Kisha of Word-Xpress, where we encourage all people to express themselves through the power of the written and spoken word. This video is in partnership with the North Alabama Arts Education Collaborative, and what I'll be teaching today through this lesson is how to express your thoughts and feelings through writing a narrative essay. If you're age 8 and above, then this video is just for you. So if you're ready to express yourself, go ahead and grab some paper and pen or your laptop and let's get started. I need to go over a few things with you. So we're obviously going to be writing a narrative essay. What exactly is a narrative essay? It's a type of story or type of essay, It's an essay that is written like a story. It describes an event that happened to you or someone else. And within that essay, you get to express your thoughts and your feelings or your attitudes about the event that happened. There are many types of essays. There's descriptive essays and persuasive and several types of essays. But today we're going to be focusing specifically on narrative, because what I want you to do is get in touch with your thoughts and your feelings. And so the two objectives for writing this essay is to become aware of your feelings about an event and then to be able to express it through writing. And then the second objective is to become aware of your thoughts about that event and to be able to express that through writing. For some people that may come easily, and for others that may be a challenge. We may know how to express what happened to us or what we feel about something that happened to us by talking, but when it comes to transferring it from our thoughts onto paper, that can be a challenge. But I'm going to help you with that today, so stick with me. I'm excited to do this with you. So the topic that we're going to be focusing on is how the pandemic has changed my life, or how the pandemic has impacted your life. Now, it may be that the pandemic didn't change your life forever. It may have just temporarily impacted your life. But either way, we're going to explore how it has impacted you in some kind of way, big or small, permanently or temporarily. It doesn't have to be anything bad, huge, or traumatic. It can be something really simple. Okay? So I'm going to share a few ideas with you. So one of the ways that we know that the pandemic has impacted all of us is social distancing. So I want you to think about, how has social distancing affected your life? How does it make you feel? Another idea would be the news. What does watching the news do to you? How does it cause you to feel? What kind of thoughts do you have running through your mind? Another idea may be being out of school. The pandemic has caused schools to close. How has that impacted you? How does that make you feel? And keep in mind, these are just a few ideas that I have come up with to help you think of some ideas. If you don't have any ideas, then you may want to use some of these, but you are welcome to use any of your own ideas. One other possibility, maybe you had a relative who tested positive for COVID-19, or a friend who had a friend or a relative who tested positive and was sick for a while. How did that affect you? How did that make you feel? And then finally, staying home. If you chose to quarantine yourself, how did that cause you to feel? And so those are just a few ideas. You don't have to use those ideas. I'm going to give you space now to come up with your own ideas. So what we're going to do is create a brainstorming cheat sheet. A lot of people try to sit down and write an essay. They just, sit down with their piece of paper and they start their first paragraph. And they really hadn't thought about what it is they want to express, what it is they want to write. When it comes to writing essays, you want your ideas and your thoughts to be organized. This cheat sheet is going to help you to pour out all of your thoughts onto the paper so that later on you can organize it into a concise 3 to 5 paragraph essay. So you need to have a sheet of paper, blank sheet of paper, that you are going to divide into 3 columns. So you're going to draw 2 lines so that you can have 3 columns. So you may want to draw a line here. I'm not doing this very well, but that's okay. You all get the idea. And then draw another line here. And in your first column, you want to title it Feelings and Impact. In your second column, we want to title it Main Idea. And in your third column will be some of your thoughts. Okay? And so I'm going to walk you through doing this cheat sheet. I don't want anybody to get a little anxious about this at all because it's very simple. Okay, so let's start with our first column, Feelings and Impact. What are some of the emotions or feelings you are experiencing right now, or maybe you experienced a few weeks ago, or maybe when you first heard about the coronavirus and its outbreak in the United States, or I will say whatever country you're in case you are in Italy or the UK or in Spain and you're watching this video. What were some of the impacts of the pandemic on your life? So let's explore a few emotions, a few feelings, a few ideas. Maybe you felt a little anxious. Maybe you felt bored because you were quarantined. You've been quarantined. Maybe you've been feeling lonely because you've been quarantined or practicing the social distancing rules. Maybe because you're anxious, you want to hide. You want to run away from it all. Another possibility is you simply miss seeing your friends and your family. I think a lot of people are experiencing that one. Or what if you're sort of like a science nerd like me, kind of curious about the coronavirus? You want to know how the virus works. What kind of research have they done? How are they designing this vaccine and where are they getting that information? Maybe you've felt a little creative and you've done some painting or drawing or cooking or decorating your room, or just doing different creative things because you've been at home and you can't go to school. Or maybe you just feel a little lazy, you're just sick of being at home and you're kind of like, blah, whatever. And that's totally okay. You can write about that if that's the case. Or maybe you feel angry. Have you had moments where you felt angry because you feel like your life has changed all of a sudden and you don't have any control over that? Well, you have permission to feel angry as long as you express it constructively and respectfully. And so if that is an emotion that you are feeling, this is a great opportunity for you to get it out on paper. Now, here's one that I thought about. Do you feel like you've been looked at differently? Like maybe you're wearing a mask around other people who aren't wearing a mask? Or maybe people look at you differently because they're wondering if you've got COVID-19. The one that has probably impacted me the most is the no touching rule. I like to hug my friends and I love hugging my family. And I love placing my hand on people's shoulders and arms and hands and, just connecting with them. But this social distancing has impacted my life in a way where I haven't been able to touch or hug other people that I truly care about. So these are just a few ideas for your first column of feelings and impact. Go ahead and pause this video and explore some of your feelings and how the pandemic has impacted your life and caused these feelings to come up. And write them down in the first column. And when you're done, come back and press play and we'll continue. Okay, so your brainstorming sheet should look something like this. The first column should have whatever your whatever your feelings are and some of the impacts. Okay? Go to our second column, your essay's main idea. You want your essay to have a focus topic, and this is what we call the main idea. The idea that you're going to consistently talk about throughout the essay, all 3 or 5 paragraphs. So here are a few examples. I miss my friends. We can't go outside. Maybe you can, but for some people, maybe they can't. What I discovered during the pandemic. Maybe there's something new that you didn't know that you learned about during the pandemic. If you've got a sick relative, it could be my dad is sick, or my mom is sick, or my grandma is sick, or whoever. Here's one that I thought that was kind of fun. Social distancing is not for kids. Another one could be, I learned a lot about the coronavirus. And finally, so much news about coronavirus. So now I want you again to put this video on pause, and I want you to think about what your main idea for your essay is going to be. What is it that you would like to talk about, or what you would like to write about and focus on? Okay, and when you're done, come back and we'll go to the third column. Okay, so your brainstorming cheat sheet should look something like this. We have the emotions and the feelings and impact in the first column. Second column is the main idea, your main idea of your choice. In this example, we have, I don't want to stay home. Okay, let's look at the third section, which is your thoughts. So I'm going to backtrack just a little bit to explain to you about essays and structure, because in this third column of your thoughts, rather than just writing all your thoughts down and organizing them later, we're going to try to organize them a little bit right now, since we have our feelings on paper, the impact on paper, and the main idea on paper. Okay, so when you're writing an essay, in this case, when you have a 3-paragraph essay, each one of those paragraphs is going to have a topic sentence, okay? And then you want to have 3 to 5 supporting sentences. What do I mean by supporting sentences? Supporting sentences are going to give more information or detail about your topic sentence. So your topic sentence is going to give you the main idea of that paragraph, and then the next 2 through 5 sentences are going to give you more information about that topic sentence. So paragraph 1 is an introduction, okay? Then your paragraph 2 is going to be more details of your experience. And again, there will be a topic sentence and then 3 to 5 supporting additional sentences. So you may have a total of 6 sentences in your paragraph. Paragraph 3 is going to be your summary. And then your topic sentence is actually going to be your closing sentence with 3 to 5 supporting sentences. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this step by step. Okay, so paragraph 1 is your introduction, right? So what you can do to start off your introductory paragraph is focusing on these questions here. Where were you when you first learned you had to self-isolate from your family? What were you doing? So the brainstorming cheat sheet, your main idea, you want to focus on that main idea. So my main idea was I don't want to stay home. So I had to self-quarantine, right? So my introductory paragraph is going to be, where was I when I first learned that I had to stay home? Where was I? What was I doing? So if your topic, for example, is I have a sick grandparent, if that's your main idea, then your introductory paragraph is going to include, where were you when you first found out that your grandparent was sick? What were you doing? If your main topic is, I learned so much about the coronavirus during the pandemic, then you could write about, where were you when you first heard about the coronavirus? Or when was it that you first became curious about the coronavirus? Okay, so in my example, again, my main idea is I don't want to stay home. My topic sentence is, my science teacher was talking to my class about this thing called COVID-19. So in my essay, where my main idea is I don't want to stay home, my introductory paragraph answers the question, where was I when I first learned that I had to stay home? What was I doing? I was in the classroom. I was in my science class, and my science teacher mentioned this thing called COVID-19. So this sentence right here is my topic sentence. I'm sorry that this isn't coming out fancy straight. This is my topic sentence here. My science teacher was talking to my class about this thing called COVID-19. That's my topic sentence. The rest of this are my supporting sentences. She said it was a dangerous virus and that a lot of people were getting sick. My classmates were saying they had heard about it, but I hadn't. It sounded scary to me. I became afraid. So notice here, not only did I talk about where I was when I first heard about the coronavirus and that I had to that eventually I was going to have to stay home, but I also mentioned how it made me feel. It sounded scary, and because it sounded scary, I became afraid. Okay, so that's what you're going to do for your first paragraph, your introductory paragraph. So what I want you to do right now is decide what your topic sentence is going to be for your first paragraph, which will answer the question, where were you when you first learned you had to whatever? Where were you when you first decided that you wanted to learn more about COVID-19? Where were you when you first heard that your grandparent was sick? Where were you when you first found out that schools were going to be closed? What were you doing? How did it make you feel? Okay? So on your cheat sheet, in the thoughts column, the last column, topic sentence 1 is, my science teacher was talking to my class about this thing called COVID-19. So I want you to write your topic sentence in that column. And then once you do that, I want you to go ahead and write the next 3 to 5 sentences that will support this topic sentence, describing where you were, what you were doing, how did it make you feel. Just just 5 to 6 sentences. And make sure you have your topic sentence included. So go ahead and pause this video, and once you're done with writing your topic sentence on the Brainstorm cheat sheet and writing your first introductory paragraph, then come back and we'll get started on paragraph 2. Okay, so how did it go? Were you able to write your first introductory paragraph? I'm sure you were able to do it because it's just a matter of getting in touch with your feelings and recalling what happened to you. We all have a story to tell. And so if you spent some time completing that cheat sheet, then you should have been able to write your introductory paragraph. But I want you to remember that writing takes practice. So if this is the first time you've actually done an essay like this, and you found it challenging, it's okay. I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to think that you can't do it. It just means that you need to practice getting in touch with your thoughts and your feelings and being able to write it down in words. Okay, now let's go on to paragraph 2. In paragraph 2, we will be looking at the details of your experience and sharing your attitude towards it. So, again, my main idea was I don't want to stay home. In paragraph 2, the questions that we can ask and answer are, what happened next? What feelings did you have about the event? Is there a problem? Is there a conflict in your feelings or between other people? Okay? So, again, in my main idea, I don't want to stay home. My topic sentence was, the next day, that answers what happened next. The next day, they said on the news that we needed to stay home. All of the schools closed. My parents said I had to stay home. I can't even meet up with my friends outside. I can't go anywhere and I can't find anything to do. I'm so bored watching TV and being on Snapchat. I feel like I'm stuck in a cage. So you see, I described what happened next, what kind of feelings I had. I said I felt bored, I was sick of watching TV and being on Snapchat, and I felt like I was stuck in a cage. And there was a problem. The problem was that I couldn't find anything to do, and I was bored, and I was unhappy. That's what the problem was. So my topic sentence was, the next day, they said on the news that the students needed to stay home. Well, actually, everybody needed to stay home. Okay, so that's the topic sentence. So now it's your turn. What happened next in your story? What feelings did you have about the event? Was there a problem? Was there a conflict in your feelings and your emotions? Or did you have a conflict with other people? Maybe your parent told you you couldn't go outside and you wanted to argue about it, but you're not allowed to argue about it. Maybe your friend wanted to come over and her parents said it was okay, but your parents said that it wasn't okay. That would be an example of a conflict. Maybe you want to hug your grandmother, but your grandmother says, no, baby, you can't hug me because I'm at high risk. That would create a conflict within you about wanting to hug and be embraced by your grandmother. So it's your turn to write paragraph. And again, on your cheat sheet in the third column, I want you to write topic sentence number 2. And I want you to write what that topic sentence would be in your story. In my story, it was that night. Well, actually, I think I said the next day. The next day, they said on the news that we needed to stay home. Okay? So now it's your turn to write your second paragraph. If you need to go back, if you need to rewind this video to the previous slide to write your second paragraph, feel free to do that. You can go ahead and pause and rewind, write your topic sentence for your second paragraph, and write the 3 to 5 supporting sentences for that topic sentence. And then come back and we will wrap this up with a closing paragraph. But let me say, if your grades 3rd through 5th, then you need to only write this second paragraph. If you're 6th grade and up, you need to write 3 paragraphs on those things. What happened next, how it made you feel, were there any conflicts, were there any problems? You need to write 3 paragraphs if you are grade 6 and up. So put this on pause, rewind if you need to, and then come back and we'll get started on our final paragraph. So how did it go? Were you able to write your second paragraph? Of course you were, because you know how to express yourself. Congratulations, you're now at the end. Okay, so our 3rd paragraph, or your 5th paragraph if you're grade 6 and up or an adult, your final paragraph is going to be your closing paragraph. And usually that includes some sort of summary of the previous paragraphs, or it can be a solution to a problem. And in this case, because I had a problem in paragraph 2 where I was lonely, I was bored, and I didn't have anything to do, and I was frustrated, and I felt like I was locked in a cage, my final paragraph is going to be about solving that problem. Okay, so again, you're going to have a topic paragraph, a topic sentence, and 3 to 5 supporting sentences. So the questions that you can ask yourself to prepare for your final paragraph, for the writing of your final paragraph. How did you solve your problem? Or did something happen to solve your problem or conflict? If not, what can you do to solve the problem? So sometimes problems work themselves out, and then there are times where we need to be proactive and solve a problem. Were you able to solve a problem because of the impact of this pandemic? Or did something happen where the solution just kind of happened on its own? Another thing you can ask yourself, did you learn or discover something new? What was it? How did this change you or make you different? Okay? So again, my main idea was, I don't want to stay home. In my 3rd paragraph, I've written, last week something really cool happened. My mom asked me to help her clean out a closet in our house. Now you can kind of tell from those 2 sentences that a problem is about to be solved, because there's a emotion or a feeling of excitement. In the previous paragraph, there was a feeling of and let's discuss that. The first paragraph, it was like, oh, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I don't know what this COVID-19 thing is, this virus. You know, in the second paragraph, it was, I'm so frustrated because I'm at home and I can't go anywhere and I can't see my friends and I'm bored with TV and I'm feeling like I'm stuck in a cage. In the 3rd paragraph, my feelings change again. I start off by saying, last week something really cool happened. You know, you see how those changes in emotion happen from paragraph to paragraph? And that is because I've found the solution to a problem. Okay, so let's see what happens then in the rest of my story. My mom asked me to help clean out a closet in our house. So I kind of have a combination of two sentences as my topic sentence, but the main topic sentence is my mom asked me to help her clean out a closet in her house. Excuse me. She and I were looking in a box, and I found some pictures of my great-great-grandparents. There are also some notes. My mother told me stories about my ancestors, and I've been looking up things about my great-grandparents and my grandparents on the internet. Because of my research, my mom and I are creating a book about our ancestors for our family. So you see, problem solved. What has happened here? I've learned something about my great-grandparents, my grandparents, that I may have never known if that pandemic hadn't happened, number one. And number two, I've developed a relationship with my mother about or regarding our family history. And in learning that history, I'm now sharing with the rest of my family. I'm passing on powerful stories, history, her story about my family to my relatives. So, what would your third paragraph say? How would you end your story? Would you be solving a problem? Will you be able to see the silver lining of the pandemic? Maybe a sick parent or friend you were able to become closer to because you cared for them more, you talked to them more than you have before. Maybe you were able to go to the store and buy groceries for them or cook meals for them. Maybe if you were doing research on the virus, maybe you decided that you wanted to be a scientist and go into virology in college. So I want you to take some time to think about that. You can go back to your brainstorming cheat sheet. And in the third column where the closing sentence is, my mom asked me to help her clean out a closet in our house, was my closing sentence. What is your closing sentence going to be? And once you've written that closing sentence down, I want you to go ahead and write 3 to 5 sentences to support that closing sentence. That closing sentence. What is it that you have to share? What problem did you solve? What conflict did you resolve? What did you learn? Was there something new that you discovered? Be back with you in a moment. Put this on pause and go ahead and write that down. All right. So here we are at the end. You should have 3 to 5 paragraphs for your essay now that we've completed our brainstorming cheat sheet. So your essay should look something like this. I wasn't sure if I made it clear that in the beginning, you were supposed to have a cheat sheet to write down your brainstorming ideas, but you needed to be writing your essay on another sheet. And so this is what your final essay should look like. You should be able to take your topic sentences from paragraphs 1, 2, and 3 and have them at the beginning of each paragraph. So topic sentence 1 would be for paragraph 1, and topic sentence 2 for paragraph 2, topic sentence 3 for paragraph 3, and each paragraph should have 3 to 5 supporting sentences. Okay, so let me show you what my final essay looks like. My title is, I don't want to stay home. That was my main idea. I might change that title to something else. But here's the essay that I have so far. My science teacher was talking to my class about this thing called COVID-19. She said it was a dangerous virus and that a lot of people were getting sick. My classmates were saying they had heard about it, but I hadn't. It sounded scary to me. I became afraid. The next day they said on the news that we needed to stay home. All of the schools closed. My parents said I had to stay home. I can't even meet up with my friends outside. I can't go anywhere, and I can't find anything to do. I'm so bored watching TV and being on Snapchat. I feel like I'm stuck in a cage. Last week, something really cool happened. My mom asked me to help her clean out a closet in our house. She and I were looking in a box, and I found some pictures of my great-great-grandparents. There were also some notes. My mother told me stories about my ancestors, and I'd been looking up things about my grandparents on the internet. Because of my research, my mom and I are creating a book about our ancestors for my family. So you see, that is my 3-paragraph essay. Now, what would be, now that I've written this essay, sometimes you start off with a title or an idea, and we do this thing called editing. It doesn't always come out perfect the first time, right? So I'm feeling like my title doesn't match my essay anymore. I mean, that is the main idea. I don't want to stay home, but something more unique and cool happened in my essay where I was able to solve a problem. So I could brainstorm some title ideas. And instead of I don't want to stay home, maybe it could be staying home brought me closer to home. It brought me closer to my family. Yeah, I kind of like that. I don't think I'm able to change it on here. That would be something that I could do. Staying home brought me closer to home. Okay, so I hope your essay turned out like mine. It should be in that format, and I want you to come up with a cool title. So brainstorm a cool, now that you finish writing your essay, go back and read it and think about what you want your title to be. Make your title a lot more exciting than what your main idea is. Put this on pause, do that, and then come back. I have more to share with you. So, how did your writing experience go? Were you able to really get into your feelings and your thoughts about how the pandemic affected your life, whether it was temporarily or permanently? I hope that you were able to write those thoughts and ideas down and discover something new about yourself, or discover something new about someone in your life, or something new and different about life in general, even if it is about the coronavirus. So I hope that this was a positive experience for you. I would like to read some of your essays. I won't be sharing them publicly, but if you're interested in sharing your essay with me, please look above or below this video for instructions on how to do that. In the meantime, I want you to continue to write throughout this pandemic. Writing is a practice. Learning how to be aware of your thoughts and your feelings is very important. It's a very important skill to be successful in life, and being able to express it and communicate it through writing or speech is powerful and important for your success and for a better world. So until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and remember to express yourself.